Greetings roller coaster fanatics and welcome out to a Fanatic review. I thought I would finally end out my dive coaster reviews for the last dive coaster that is currently in America as of now, and the newest credit for dive coaster, which is SheiKra, located at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. The first coaster I get to talk about at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. I'm very excited. I bet a lot of people are too, because now you'll be able to see my grading for each of each dive coasters. And I'm not going to really say which ones I like better, but just by looking at the reviews, you can kind of tell which one is better. And I've been excited for this roller coaster for so long, and I'm glad I get to talk about it now. So here we go. We're going to talk about SheiKra at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. So this was the first ever B&M dive coaster to open in America. It opened in 2005. It was the first dive coaster to be featured in America. It was also, I believe, the first one to open that have a height of 200 feet. And that is the same when it comes to drop too. This coaster reaches a maximum speed of 70 miles per hour. And of course, dive coasters are famous because they have a 90-degree vertical drop on the first drop straight down. This coaster goes a total length of 3,188 feet of track. So it is a little bit short, but it's not incredibly short. There's only one inversion on this, and it's just the implement. It's the first implement after the drop. Of course, the maximum duration from the time you leave the station to the time you enter back in the station is about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So, moving on, SheiKra. When you first go up to SheiKra, depending on where you come from, I came from Kumba going into Stanleyville and seeing SheiKra, and the entire time you can see this thing around the park. This thing is massive. It's the tallest roller coaster in the park, and besides Falcon's Fury, this thing is a beast. You can see it all over towards every single ride, and then approaching it actually looks taller than Griffin. This thing just looks massive, and you come face to face with the first inversion. You're just like right there. And you walk through the queue, which is kind of like almost secluded between the station and the ride, which is really weird. Now, I mean, what is theming to this roller coaster? So I'm just going to say it's a nice, funky little name for what it is, and it's got some nice little landscape around it. At least it's not in a parking lot. It looks nice, it looks decent around it, and there's some architecture that it goes through during the ride, which is really nice. This is a double loading station, but when I was there, they only used one station. I don't know if they do that often, but it was a Saturday when I went, so I'm believing it's often that they just use the one station. They no longer use both stations. Like everything else, you have to put your stuff in a locker, but there are bins for like the mini stuff that if you need to, which is actually I thought was really nice. That was the first thing I've ever got to experience finally a SeaWorld park that allows you to have small little cubbies for small little things that might fall out during the ride. Now, I got a lucky time, but the one thing I love about dive coasters, especially Griffin and SheiKra, is the over-the-shoulder restraints. They don't lock all the way down, so I just get a lot of looseness in there, and it works perfectly for when I go up top and I hang on that drop, and like Griffin, especially this, the hang time is outstanding. I only rode this once, and it was on the very far wing seat, and I loved it. Just feeling the breathtaking view, and then looking down and just looking at what I'm about to plummet to and feel the hang time was nuts. We drop into the drop, and just like Griffin, I'm out of my seat, and I love it. Plant down into an inversion, and turn around into the helix, and then I go into the brakes. To be honest, it still felt short. It still felt as short as Griffin's first half. It was over just like that, and the speed is done. You get to the mid-course brake run, and everything comes to a halt. All the momentum you just had is long gone. But then here comes a unique portion of the ride, which I find very fun, especially on the wing seat. We drop again 90 degrees, or close to 90 degrees, about 87.5 degrees, into this like little small cylinder building structure, and it is so close to hitting. It is a cool feature. This is the best feature on a dive coaster, period. Was just that moment of you were not going to fit. We're on an 8-seating 3-row train, and how is it going to fit through there? It does, and it is great. You come through a tunnel, you pull out, you do a turnaround and into the splashdown. And I love how there is a lot of places where you can get soaked. People can just stand right by and get soaked. And trust me, you get more soaked on this than if you're waiting for one of those boats. And it is awesome. Like, you get really wet. So if on a hot day, humid day, and if you need something to just cool you off, just go and wait to get drenched on by this thing. Because, oh my gosh. Now, this part of the ride was a gimmick, because it was just there to make the ride longer. They had nothing else to do, so why not? There was no intensity, no speed. It was just, okay, the ride's still going. And that was the final turnaround helix to the right that plants into the brakes. I felt no need for it. It was just there to make the ride a little bit longer, which was nice, because this ride is pretty short. Because it goes like immediately after it goes in the drop, inversion, helix, drop, tunnel, turnaround, water, helix, done. It feels really short, and that helix just gives it an extra length, which it does. But to be honest, that's really the point in the ride that I was like, okay. That doesn't work. Also, I would have liked another inversion. I don't think the one was enough. I would have liked to see some other type of inversion, something like that to really spice up the ride. Maybe it drops into it, and when you come out, you go into another inversion of some sort, which I understand the way it's laid out, you can't really do. They would have to do a lot of different things, but it would have been nice to see another inversion of some type on this ride. But that will do it for this review. I enjoy this roller coaster. This is a nice B&M dive coaster, and I found it to be very enjoyable, and I was pleased with what I got, and I was given a hang time machine drop coaster, which is what this is supposed to do. And for what it did with its concept, and for the first of its kind, I have to praise it for that, and it was great. I'm going to give SheiKra at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, a B. So, SheiKra, what did you guys think of it? Comment below. Let me know what you guys think of SheiKra at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Have you been on all 3 B&M dive coasters? Let me know what your favorite is of those 3. And if you've been to ones outside of Europe, let me know how those are too. I want to hear your thoughts on B&M dive coasters, and just share your opinions with me. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos to become a true coaster fanatic. Thank y'all for watching, and as always, roller coaster fanatics, keep coasting.